and we are going to get going. We're trying again here with Trump's rally in New Hampshire. This is delayed, and we've tried to broadcast once already. We were having trouble with some technical issues, so we are going to give this another try. So far, it looks like we've got a much better connection. I think that's just random. Sometimes it just doesn't work properly, and sometimes it does. So hopefully, someone will jump in here and see this in a second. Let me check out the YouTube and see if we're coming through on that. Let me refresh. We're broadcasting right now at youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. That is the best place to chat. So I'm waiting for someone to jump in there. There we go. Dr. Howard, how are you doing? Good to see you in here. And you are the first. Okay, Stephanie, you're there as well. We still haven't dropped a frame, so I think we're good, guys. Let's get going with this. Give me a second to pull things up here. Kim, you're here. It looks like you're on Twitter. Ruth Ann is here. Okay, good. Thank you guys for hanging out there for a couple of minutes. Still no dropped frames. I think we're good. Let me pull something up here. Give me a second. Okay, let me go back again. I just want to make double sure everything looks good. And click that. And okay, let me click through here. You guys can't see what I'm doing, so it's pointless. I'm just going to stay quiet for a second. Let's start up Trump. This is President Trump. I think we're working.
Thank you. And I'll tell you, we're landing, and there are thousands.
What, Dr. Howard? Dr. Howard has not been feeling well the last couple of days. She has a heart. That's good news. So you did the exploratory heart thing. You did a catheter, right? And you're okay? You're alive? Are you like lying in a hospital bed right now watching this, Dr. Howard? So good job. Producer Joanna, good to see you back. I don't know what's going on. Nothing. What's the title? Is it even the right title here? Trump fact check from Manchester. Yeah. Okay. So part of it's working. I'm not going to mess with it. We're not dropping any frames right now. So it's good to see that Dr. Howard is here and alive. That's a bonus. And we'll get going back with Trump in a second. If you're watching, hi, welcome. This is what we do. We fact check Trump live. We have a chat. And if you'd like to be in the chat window, youtube.com/KevinLeeFather is the best place to chat. But it also works on Twitch, and it also works on Twitter, and it also works a little bit on Facebook. The Facebook stuff will appear on there. If you're watching on Facebook, say something so that we know you're actually in the chat room with us. If you don't want to say anything in the chat, that's fine too. If you just want to watch, this is what we do. We chat truth to power. Here's President Trump. Well, take it easy, Dr. This is beyond the call of duty, Dr. Howard.
Thousands of people along the runways, right? And I
said, those people would be along the streets, not along the runways. I can promise you that.
I said, why aren't they here, sir? We couldn't let them in. Why not? Let's let them in.
As I said before, the pandemic, sir, there's occupancy limits, and people are getting sick and dying.
Oh, these people.
These sick people with their dying all over the place.
And then they put in a floor. This is for Manchester, because you know about flooring. They put in a floor that's like an ice skating rink.
Oh, no. I hope there's not a ramp.
So we're going to tiptoe around. How are you, everybody? We love you. We love you. Great people. Manchester, we had some good memories in Manchester, right? 2016, but this is going to be, we are right now in the most important election in our history. But I'm thrilled to be back in the Granite State with the true hardworking American patriots. Last night, it was my great honor to accept the Republican nomination for President of the United States.
I hadn't heard about that. Did you guys catch that?
We're going to win. We're going to win.
Yeah, I gotta win.
Does anybody have any doubt? Does anybody? You know, it's very interesting. Last night we had an incredible time, and I don't know if you know, it's driving the fake news crazy. They're back there. But the poll numbers have swung. If you go back 6 months before the plague flew in from China, the horrible plague, this election was over. And then I had to go back to work. Then I went back to work, and we've done an incredible job in every aspect of running government, but I also had to start campaigning a little bit again, and I did.
Well, yeah, because the plague happened. I mean, we live in a reality, or at least some of us do. Oh, look at that. The television audience was way down. Oh, he drew a smaller audience than Biden. Oh, that's got to feel bad.
And today it was announced that Joe Biden is coming out of the basement. Because the poll numbers have totally swung. They totally swung. And they've swung like nobody's ever seen him swing before, and it was rapid. It was a rapid swing.
No, they didn't.
Because they all admit that we're doing a great job. There's not too many presidents that have done a job like we've done, including keeping you out of wars, bringing you home from the endless wars. But they've swung. But here's what I don't get. Sleepy Joe's coming out, he said, in 10 days. That's a long 10 days. 10 days. That's like an eternity in Trumpville. 10 days.
According to the latest stats, according to 538.com, Biden has a 69% chance of winning the presidency. Means nothing, but there's nothing about his polls swinging back and forth here.
I view 10 days as like an eternity, okay? So he decided he's coming out, and he's going to be out in 10 days. That's a long time. That's a big percentage of the remaining time. That's all right. He's much better off where he is. I think we love Melania. We do. She did a great job, right? She did a great job. She went up on Tuesday night, did an incredible job. Last night was exciting, wasn't it? Last night was exciting. And how about those stories from friends of mine, right? How about those stories? Was that just compelling and incredible television? But really, that was an exciting, a really good quality convention.
So the race has narrowed, which is
so many people.
After the conventions.
So many people.
And then there'll be an October surprise. Now, Trump has a built-in October surprise because he manipulates the Justice Department. We will have a Durham report at some point that makes Biden look questionable, and there'll be no definitive answer on anything. But if you look at it, it'll say, like, well, wait a minute, so Biden didn't do anything. There's no charges here. So that'll come out at some point in October. Who knows what the hell else is going to come out?
Saw some tragic situations, some really great endorsements. You saw everything. If you, how about the endorsement of Herschel Walker? When you watch that, that was from the heart. That was from the heart. Dana White today. I just saw it today because last night I was looking at the speech a little bit, you know. We had a wonderful turnout last night. What I didn't like, you saw this, right, when it was over? You saw when it was over? The thugs outside, because the Democratic mayor of Washington, D.C., it's another Democrat that's not believing in law and order. And, you know, we give Washington, D.C. a lot of money to run it. But they don't do a good job of running it. The mayor, she doesn't run anything. And these incredible people from all over the country, all over the world that were there last night, they walked out to a bunch of thugs. And that wasn't, remember this, that wasn't friendly protesters. They were thugs.
Nobody said anything about friendly protesters. That's not a thing. That's literally... Who does that? We like you. You're doing a great job. What do we want? More of what you're doing. When do we want it? Whenever's convenient. Not a thing. Peaceful protesters, a thing. Friendly protesters, completely the opposite of protesting.
They were thugs. And the DC police are good. But the mayor gave bad instructions last night. That should have never been allowed to happen. When a senator like Rand Paul walks out, and thank God we had some good police around him, and they took tremendous abuse. And Rand Paul was in big trouble last night. He's a good guy, he's a friend of mine. And that shouldn't happen to anybody. But here's a U.S. senator walking outside, and those 4 policemen should be brought over to the White House, and we ought to give them a medal of some kind. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I told that to Rand today.
Yeah. So Rand got yelled at this morning. Some Trump fan who attended rallies, some 17-year-old killed 2 people last week. He hasn't said a word about that. But those unfriendly protesters, they yelled at Rand.
And the mayor should be ashamed of herself for that kind of a display of incompetence, because that's what's happening in Portland, and that's what's happening all over where you have Democrat-run cities. Just take a look. And we're looking at the whole situation in D.C., and tonight they have a lot of people gathering. Let's see how that works out. They have to be able to manage their affairs. They get a lot of money. She's always looking for money. Could we have more money? What are you going to waste it on? I mean, spend it on. What are you going to waste it on, Mayor? And then our people walk out, and these are people from all over the world. They walk, including Congress, by the way. They walk out, and they get accosted. They get abused. They get spit on. It's a disgrace. And our country's going to change. We're not going to allow that to happen. You know, we're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be involved unless we're invited.
Okay, we were having some internet issues there, and then I think I knocked the router down, and I think I fixed it. So, good news. Secondly, did you guys hear of any Congress people getting spat on? Getting spit on? Getting spitted on? Getting spatified?
In by the people that run. These are all Democrat cities, just so you understand, including D.C. So we're not supposed to go in.
And you're the president of all those places.
Unless we call it an insurrection. But that's a big statement. It's a big statement. No reason for it. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to have to look at it. Mark Meadows is here. We're going to have to look at it, because we're not going to let that happen to people that go to the White House to celebrate our country.
Which is not where they're supposed to be going, because the White House is not supposed to be used for political events. I don't know why the USA chant is apropos there. They were. We watched this morning. If you joined me this morning for Spilling Covfefe, we did see the protesters yelling at some of the people leaving the White House, and they were all wearing masks, every one of them.
And a weak guy named Joe Biden, and he's weak.
He's weak, but he's gonna be what brings down this country. But he's weak, and he's sleepy, but he's gonna destroy America.
Weak as hell. A weak guy like...
Weak as hell, but he's a monster that's gonna bring down this entire country somehow.
Like Joe Biden didn't even bring law and order up as a subject for discussion in the entire Democrat National...
Literally showed an 8-minute clip on violence in America during the DNC. All of this is just complete nonsense. Oh, they didn't even mention violence. They didn't. No, there was an 8-minute clip, including Gabby Gifford, who was shot in the skull. That's violence right there. What's happening in Kenosha right now? 2 people are dead. One man has 7, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. 7 bullet holes in his back. He was shot with a gun. Gabby Gifford, shot in the head with a gun. In Kenosha, 17-year-old Trump fan vigilante shot 2 people, killed them, dead, with a gun. Democrats showed an 8-minute piece. I can show it if anybody's interested. Everybody didn't see it. It's very good. Dead. No, there's no death circles. I don't know. I can't fix it.
Convention. Now they're all of a sudden, now they realize because they've gone down like a rock in water. They've gone down in the polls, and now all of a sudden they're talking, oh.
A rock in water goes down more slowly than just dropping a rock in the air. That is, I don't know if that's his expression, but it's ridiculous. Like, you can fire a bullet into a bathtub, and it will not kill you. Water slows things down. It's a natural friction point.
We have to talk about crime. Number one, they have no, look at what happened to New York. Look at what's going on in Chicago. All Democrats, all radical left Democrats. Look at what's going on in the great state of Wisconsin. Now, I will tell you, 2 days ago, we sent in the National Guard. That was the end of that problem.
Did you say water? Water?
Look at Portland.
Okay.
We want to send in the National Guard. We send in Homeland Security just to protect a couple of our buildings, including a courthouse. Can you believe it? We send in because they can't protect it.
Yeah.
So they did a very effective job. We could take care of Portland in 45 minutes. 45 minutes. If that governor...
Okay, Dr. Howard is in a hospital bed right now, and she's requesting to show the DNC clip on violence. It is, I think I'm going to show it. It is, 8 minutes and 21 seconds long. So we'll come back to the president after this. But all the talk you heard about the Democrats not addressing violence at all. They didn't talk about the rioters. I don't remember them mentioning the rioters at the DNC, but they did talk about violence on the streets of America. Here we go.
People affected by everyday gun violence have to walk by the street corner where their best friend, their brother, their mother, their nephew, where they themselves were shot. And life goes on as if we all haven't just watched a loved one die and get put in the grave. The whole point of what I'm saying here is until one of us or all of us stand up and say, I can't do this anymore. I can't sit by and watch the news treat these shootings like acts of God. Gun violence isn't just going to stop until there's a force fighting harder against it, and I'm going to do something to prevent it. They say that tougher gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS! They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS! They say guns are just tools like knives. We call BS! They say that no laws could have been able to prevent the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS! That us kids don't know what we're talking about, that we're too young to understand how the government works. We call BS!